Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Shining Force Iron Man. Now, last time I lied to everybody. I promised everybody that I was actually going to use blue after the tragedy that was the battle in Dragonia. However, I think I have changed my mind because I'm not lacking powerhouses. I'm really not. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm just gonna keep I'm gonna keep blue in the party for I'm gonna keep blue in the party for like pharmacy, like for a flying pharmacy, just like Balbury and Eamon. However, I think what I'm going to do instead is, like, instead of trying to build him out, I think I'm just going to wait. Because there are at least 2 more physical powerhouses I can get later on in the game that I could use. And instead of giving Blue experience that I'm worried he won't even be able to use, I figured giving the experience to Gort or May or my main guy or Xylo or Guns would be a little bit more effective. So I'm going to do that. It's not like I'm running low on fighters. Gort and May are powerhouses that can kill just about anything in 1 or 2 hits. Guns is getting there very quickly. Xylo is getting there. I just put the power ring on Xylo so he can hit things harder. And my main guy is getting stronger. So, and then I'm going to pick up at least 1 dude who's a pretty rough. He's a pretty good, strong character. And I'm going to be picking up another guy that can fill a pretty similar role. So I feel like instead of trying to pour experience into Blue he may not be able to make use of properly, I'll just pour that experience into everybody else and make sure that the warriors I have right now are stout. That's what I'm going to do. So, but I will try to keep Blue alive as best I can, and while I have him, and I will use him as a pharmacy, as a portable pharmacy. However, but just keep in mind he is one of my favorite characters in this game. I love his story of how he's a baby dragon. He's aspiring to be like his ancestors before him. And in a typical Let's Play, I would use him, and he would be one of my favorite characters. But for the sake of everything, I'm going to hold off. So now, we have to head south to a town called Prompt. We're heading into Runefaust territory. We're trying to confront the Empire of Runefaust. So let's start heading down that way. Well, we meet once more. For the last time, I fear, as you will die here. My minions shall take care of you, but if they fail, I await you in the Demon Castle. Okay, so if you don't remember her, that is Miss Shayla. She was the witch that we saw in Alterone that told us to not bother going to Alterone. And then she was also the, she was also the one that sent the marionette and the puppets after us and burned our first ship. So she's not a very nice lady. She's done a lot of hurtful things to us. So here's her demon castle down here, and we're gonna make our way down there. We have to go down there to Prompt, and we have to go on this way to our Prompt. On this way towards Prompt anyway, and we might as well take her out while we're here. So, this is a new map. We've got gargoyles that really aren't that big of a deal. There's these new bow knights. Bow riders, my bad. They hit for 40. They're pretty tough. So those we want to take care of. High priests, as normal. Wait a second. High priest has a 39 attack. Did I read that correctly? I did. God, that's too high for a priest. Whatever, moving on. Master mages, always got to be careful of these guys. These things are the things that trouble me the most. These are called Belials. Look at that little bolt spell they have. Bolts is the highest form of attack magic. I don't think it's the highest form of attack magic in the game in general, but it's the highest form that you can learn as a player. And it's a nasty spell. It hits harder than Freeze level 1, and it's got a higher range. It's got... I think the Bolt level 1 has like a cross. Like, kind of like how Blaze level 2 and 3 have like that cross. Bolt level 1 has that cross. Level 1 has that cross. And then I think level 2 opens it up further. Level 3 opens it up even further. Like, it's huge. But these guys carry Bolt level 1, and it is not very fun to deal with. So we have to be very careful with them. So, I don't think I got any new characters. I'm going to start using Lyle. If nothing else, he'll serve as a good distraction. I'm trying not to kill anybody intentionally, but if he has to get in the way of somebody trying to go after Teo or my main guy or Guns, so be it. He's not that bad. I never actually sat down and built out Lyle. His HP and defense are poor. So I probably won't use him. I'm really just using him for a distraction, and if for some reason I'm worried about an enemy killing something, maybe he can get the jump on them. That's really the only reason I'm using him. And Vankar, the same purpose. I'm not going to actually plan on killing anything with him. He's just going to be kind of there to fill a spot, and maybe an enemy will go after him instead of going after, like, Teo or somebody. And then Blue, and then Eamon is still going to reserve her role as a pharmacy, as will Blue, but Blue's a little bit beefier than Eamon. So, without further ado, we'll create this little mini Teo wall, as Teo, the waifu, definitely deserves her own wall. That's for sure. Yeah, the Bow Raiders aren't too bad, because you can kind of get the jump on them. If you're careful, this is just a muddle spell. It's not that bad. It's annoying, but not terrible, even if it lands. So it's not that bad. These Bow Raiders aren't too bad if you can get the jump on them. If they hit you first, you're kind of in trouble. The Belials, though, are just... they're monsters. Because they've got high mobility and the Bolt spell. So you have to really be weary of them. Trying to form, like, something of a wall to where even if these Belials start coming up, I can shield. Like, they're only going to hit certain people. I'll protect Teo from this side. I'll put Blue in front of Teo, that way I can move around a little bit more freely. Okay, that should be good. Well, we still got to get her some experience, that way she can take more than one hit to the face. Goodness, she's scaring me. What's the... how much more experience does she need? 15. Okay, so she just hit level 6. God dang it. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and kill this. Oh, no, come on. That's alright, I think May can finish the job. I don't want her to. I've got 5 other people that need the EXP. Hit points by 2. Okay. I got, like, Xylo and Gunsol need it more than she does, but at the same time, I do not want that thing hitting Teo. I thought my main guy wouldn't miss, but he did, so. So we'll just move our keisters on over here. I gave Xylo the power ring, which is ultimately going to be a mistake, because every time I give that to someone not named May, they die. It's a curse. She has placed a curse on that ring. She wants it for herself. Ah, see, here they come. Here they come. Ah, I hate these things. Okay. That's only one of them, though. So, the trick here, at least the trick for me anyway, is to keep Teo out of that range, keep anybody really weak out of that range, and keep everybody from being, like, right next to each other, because it'll hit them in that cross formation. So I'm probably going to get hit at least once by this guy. So, like, keep him up here. Keep Eamon up here. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to keep Teo up here. I just don't want her getting hit. Now, he's fine where he... Oh, no, I gotta move him up, actually, a bit. So, trying to keep everybody from being, like, super like... Yeah, there we go. This is actually probably okay. Here, we'll do this. This is all sorts of layers of ridiculousness. I apologize yet once more for my hair. My hair is just crazy right now. I know it is. It's okay. It's madness. I need to get it cut. My fiance keeps offering to cut it, and I'm just too lazy. I'm like, no, we'll do it another day. I just need to sit down and do it. So, and we will. It's Belial. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? He didn't cast Bolt, guys. They usually do. I'm not sure what his problem was, but that will be the last mistake he ever makes. Because I'm pretty sure Xylo can handle these gargoyles. Okay, yeah. I'm a little worried about that bow rider, though. If he moves up. Oh, he's got longer range than I thought. I always forget they have that kind of... That's actually not that bad. I bet you Xylo can handle that. But he probably can't handle that. Alright, Guns. Save us. Yeah! My armadillo buddy. Yeah, I can't wait to get him leveled out. Really, whoever kills this Belial is just going to be whoever comes up next, to be honest. I just don't want him hitting anybody hard. It will not be blue. That I can promise. It will not be Vankar. Or God, or Low. I can tell you everybody who it's not going to be. Oh, God. Oh, man, I want to heal Xylo, but I can't. Oh, my God. Everybody but. Alright, here we go. Ooh, can Teo get this kill? She might be able to. Ooh. Yeah, let's do this. Teo needs a kill. Teo needs more EXP. Give it to the waifu. There we go. I probably could have used Blade level 2, but I just wanted to be sure that thing was going to die. See, Mei can take a hit. I'm not worried about her being this far out. I'm worried about Xylo, though. I probably need to pull him back. That bow rider has very, very poor terrain advantage right now, so he probably can't chase me too far. Yeah, I think I need to pull Xylo back. That's what I'm gonna do. I just don't want, because if that bow rider gets a double. Stop! Wait! Whoa! 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 Xylo hasn't even gone once yet. Oh boy! Stop! Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna pull him way back, like over here, and then one of my healers is gonna get to him. I shouldn't have done that. I mean, it's good for my healers; they get extra EXP. But, ooh, that was a little bit scary. I don't want to lose Xylo so fast. I like Xylo; he's a good boy. Oh boy. Guns. What do I do with you, bub? Okay, I'll let them come to me. It seems like they're going to, so. Alright, Hobbit. Show us what you've learned in the Shire. I love how everything we know about, like, halflings comes from Lord of the Rings. It's just funny to me. Like, how impactful J.R.R. Tolkien's work was on everybody, pretty much. Okay. Oh, he even hits Mei for 10. Oh, God. Well, we can't have that, so... Okay. No, I can't do that. Not with the kind of risk we're taking. Okay, it's not bad. Ah, of course they dodge. That's okay. Oh, man, what do I do? I should probably have her take out this gargoyle and start working on this bow rider. I might have her use a healing seed on herself. This bow rider needs to go. He's scaring me. Oh, I should have saved that for Guns or Xylo. What was I thinking? Attack by 3, defense by 3. That's actually pretty good. Okay, Xylo can probably I think he can handle this now. Because the May's there. What did I do? No, I think he's okay. Because May's there now. So he has an extra hand. Okay, I think he's alright, guys. Because even if that Golem, even if the Bow Reader hits twice, he won't kill him. Now, Golem is going to hit him for a little bit. 2 or 3. Yeah. I think he's okay. I think I did the right thing. Yeah, that's what I figured he would do. He's up for 9. I mean, that's not terrible. It's just annoying. I'll send May down there to ruin his day. Start moving. Lyle. Let me see. Let me see. I guess I could move Chris over 1. Won't kill anything. I can keep. See, the cool thing about Blue is he's got extremely high mobility. So. Yeah, that should be fine. I don't think anything can reach her there. I'll go ahead and put him here. Okay, this Bow Rider needs to go. And May was the woman for the job. Goodness, they don't give her 12 EXP. Of course, she is level 9. Okay, I'm gonna wait on this guy. I'm gonna let Xylo get that kill. Xylo needs more help. Pack level 2. Sweet. Okie doke. These Belials should be making their way up soon. They don't wait. I don't feel like I don't remember them waiting overly long. But, okay. So we'll move Gunts here. I gotta reassess what's down here. No. Okay, let's see. What do I have? I have 2 Belial. These things, another thing is their high mobility. I think I mentioned that when I was complaining about them earlier. They have high mobility. They can just fly. Like, these are mountains. These are hard to move. And they'll just fly around like it's nobody's business. You know, he's got very limited mobility. So that freeze spell is annoying for sure. These guys are all limited by mobility down here. As well as down here. Okay. Okay. These Belials are the biggest problem. So I gotta put people down there that can take a bolt or 2. I guess I can keep Blue here on the mountain. Vankar's over here, that's fine. Okay, we need some heals. Eamon can go here, it's fine. Teo can start moving because nothing's threatening. Okay, I'm gonna pull her back because we need some healing. Let's see. Time to reassess. I'll start moving my big dudes through this little valley gap. I hate this valley gap. It's so hard to move everybody. Luckily, I don't think anyone really tries to ambush you. Xylo's really got the best range, to be honest, because he's got high mobility on terrain. Man, I'm so sad I lost Domingo, guys. That makes me just... Ah, here they come. Shoot. Right when I didn't want them. Yeah, I'm so sad I lost Domingo. Like, he's just such a good... He's just... I'm gonna scoot over. I feel like I'm not in the camera. God, he's just... Domingo's just so viable. I mean... I just can't say enough good things about him. He was the last person I genuinely thought I'd lose. I did not think Kane would get a... I figured he would have survived a hit from Kane. And he probably would have if that hit wasn't a critical. So he got really screwed. I figured he could survive that, and he didn't. And it's sad. He was the last person I expected to lose. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, I already don't like where this is going. I'm already not a fan of this. Okay, we gotta get Xylo back up there. Xylo's actually got 37 hit points, so his hit points are fine. He just needs higher defense. I feel like Chris... What experience does Chris have? I feel like she's been level 9. I feel like she's been level 9 for years. Okay. Those Belials are making me nervous. They're scaring me. Here they come. No. I mean, it is what it is. I can't stop them, but... Guns! Can you kill a Belial in one hit? Please. Oh, so close. That's not bad. Oh, but he's gonna get hit by a bolt spell, unless that Belial just wants nothing to do with him. Which is fine. They don't always use it, though. Ooh. They don't always use that spell. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they wait. Oh, that Belial scared me, though. Oh, boy. Oh, no. What do I do? Well, I should probably heal Lyle. Just to try to keep him alive. So, I'm gonna have to pull somebody over. I'm gonna pull Lyle to the side and hit him from the side. Okay, we gotta get Chris out of there. No, it's not worth it. Okay, God, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna put Vankar here. Okay, I gotta hit him from the side. That's the only option I have. That's nothing. Oh, that's depressing. I thought he'd hit for more than that. I thought he'd hit for like 10 at least. Ah. Guys, this is where Domingo would be helpful. I can't. Okay, so I'm gonna put blue here for a distraction. Oh, Teo. Teo. Please, Teo. Waifu, save us. Save us, you beautiful, beautiful mage. Okay, that... Oh, no. This could be bad. This could be... Come on, main guy. Save your waifu. Do it. Save us. Save Teo. Yes! Okay, okay, I think we're okay. Attack by 3, defense by 1, speed by 6, hit points by 3. That's not bad. I'd like that defense to be higher, but, you know, you can't get everything you want. That other Belial, though, is scaring me a little bit. I feel like he's going to go after Teo and my main guy, because they're both, like, right there. Oh, boy. God. Oh. No! If it's just a regular attack, that's fine. Yeah, boy. Yeah, sometimes these Belials don't cast Bolt. I don't know. If I were them, I'd be casting it forever. Oh, I really should kill this Belial. Yeah, we need to. We need to get rid of this thing. That Master Mage, he'll survive a freeze spell. I can just heal myself if I can't get anybody else down there to him, so he'll be alright. That Belial needed to die, though, so that's good. Well, who needs a heal? I don't think... Yeah, Teo's good. My main guy needs a heal. Oh, shoot. My main guy needs a heal. By a little bit. I think Lyle was healed up. Yeah, we healed him. May should be good. I think Xylo's still missing a couple hit points, yeah. Guns needs a couple. Okay, let's heal the main... oh, shoot. I can't heal the main guy, can I? I mean, I can't. I'm gonna wait. Because I don't want to use too much mana. We've still got a whole bunch of map to go. This map it takes a while. It's mostly this mountain terrain, like down here. It's mostly this mountainous terrain, but put blue over here. Blue's fine. Venkar's okay. We'll start moving down our healers. Now those Belials are gone. There's really, the mages I don't like. They're threatening, but they are impeded by the low terrain as much as I am. So, I'm not overly worried about it. How should I do this? I think I'm going to start moving Gort down. I think I'll have Xylo or Guns get the kill because they need more speed. Should let my main guy get that kill. Guns. Okay, that was a little too scary. How do I do this? What do I want to do? I could take the risk of Guns getting the kill, or weakening him for Xylo or Gort to get the kill, and then have how far? Okay, hold on. How far is Blue? Because Blue should come up pretty quick. He's got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. Let's take the risk of him killing this mage because we need to kill him quick. Sweet. Okay, now if Xylo. That's fine. That's fine. That's actually what I wanted him to do. Xylo can get to him, Gort can probably get to him, and Blue can get to Guns. So if any one of those 3 come up before that Master Mage does, we'll be fine. Again, can't reach the main guy. No, we'll leave. Can aim it? No, there's no way. Okay. Let's keep him here then. Oh, that thing panned over the Master Mage, and I was like, no, he is not going to get another turn. There's no way. There's no way on Goddess's Green Earth he gets that extra. No, he's out of range. No. It's okay. It's all right. No. I don't want to lose my Armadillo. I love that man. That Armadillo. It's okay. Actually, Teo does need this kill. Teo needs as much EXP as I can get her, so yeah, this works out well for her, actually. 7, defense by 1, speed by 3, hit points by 2. Well, apparently if Teo ever needs to run away from something, she's fine. Oh no, Xylo, please. Oh, thank you. Okay, he got, Xylo's speed is a 30, and this Master Mage is probably really low. 26. Well, here's the problem. Here's the dilemma. Is if I attack and miss, Guns is dead. But if... No, we have to do this. Because if he hits them with a critical on this spell, Guns will not be the only one dead. So we have to do this. I can always count on the Wolfman. There we go. Alright, crisis averted. Easy peasy. Okay, we should probably... Oh, shoot. That's not what I wanted. I mean, it's fine. Dwarf Daddy Gort can handle a little bit of cold. He's descended of the great Swedish dwarves. He can handle a little bit of chill. Swedish dwarves? Is that? I don't know. Forget I ever said that. Swedish dwarves. I mean, I guess. If that offends my Swedish friends, I am very, very sorry. I don't think so, though. I think dwarves are universally accepted as incredible beings. Just like the Swedes. I would love to go. I would love to visit the Scandinavian countries one day. Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark as well. I just love to visit the Netherlands. Like, just to see, like, the history in those areas and their cultures. I just think it'd be awesome. There's a lot of history there. I really like cold weather places, so of course I'm naturally inclined to want to go there. I always find, you know, like Scandinavian history to be incredibly interesting as well to boot. So, I just always think that would be cool. One day I'd love to visit, just to see it all. There's so much more traveling I'd like to do before I kick the bucket, and I know I won't be able to do all of it, which kind of makes me somewhat sad inside. Because traveling's cool. I love seeing different things and new places, and like different cultures and how people react to life and whatnot. It's really fascinating to me. It's always been fascinating to me, but I guess I should probably send Dwarf Daddy Gort to go get that that mage. I want to give the EXP like my main guy or something, but really I want to give it to Gunts, but I may not be able to get a healer to Gunts. I mean, that's why I have blue. I guess I could just use blue. Yeah, why not? A little bit of wasted XP for Chris and whatnot, but that's fine. Dwarf Daddy's got a little bit more mobility on these mountains than I give him credit for. He can move a little bit further than most people. Okay. I mean, that's not the end of the world, but that's definitely not inviting either. I need Gunts to get over there. I want Gunts to get this kill, if at all possible. He needs the EXP the most. And he's a low level, too, so... 6. Defense by 5. Yeah, it's good. That's good. Gunts needs some extra defense. He needs extra hit points, too. But that defense will definitely help. Shoot. No, we'll keep him there. I think I'm just gonna kill that mage with whoever comes up. That's, reasonably. Just because I think I need to get rid of him. Okay, he can't move. He's stuck. His little horse legs can only take him so far. I'll use that medical herb on him. That's fine. Portable pharmacy, my friends. Goodness. You know what's cool about running an Ironman on this game? Is I'm forced to use characters in scenarios that I normally don't. Like, I've never actually sat down and used Eamon and Balbury, ever. I just had other characters. On my first playthrough, I didn't use them. And then on every subsequent playthrough, I just had other characters I wanted to use. So I just never sat down and used them. Not that they were bad or anything. I just was much more of a fan of other characters. And I got to a point where, like, I've tried most of the characters in Shining Force by now, and they were just two characters I never used, because I just didn't really care for them. And it seemed like the few times I tried to level them out for a little while, that other people got better stats. So I never used them, but here on this Ironman, they've actually been pretty invaluable to me, because they're really, really good at healing. Like, you can just pop a healing seed with them easily. So they've been incredibly valuable. Those two Master Mages down there. That's the last ones, right? Yeah, there's a Bow Rider, who's a little concerning. A Golem, that's not that bad. And a High Priest, right here. There's a Golem and two Master Mages down there, and a High Priest right here. So, these two Master Mages are kind of concerning. Once I get past them, though, this group shouldn't be a problem. But those two Master Mages, if they get in a good spot, they can easily, really screw me over. I think I'm gonna go have Gunts take out this High Priest. Yeah, I think once I get down to past these two Master Mages, I think I'm through the hardest part. Those Belials are really tough. Because that bolt, even if they don't cast it, the threat of the bolt is terrifying. Let's see. He's just gonna run from me. He knows he don't want none of that armadillo. He wants none of that. I've never actually, other than in zoos, I've never actually seen armadillos. I would love to see an armadillo though, like out in the wild. Of course, I'd have to move out west for that, and unless it's like northwest, no, thank you. I hate like warmer weather. But I used to know someone that used to live out like a little bit further out west. I think they lived in Arkansas, and they used to talk. Was it? Yeah, it had to have been Arkansas. And they said they used to talk about like armadillos. And they're like, they used to find armadillos in their backyard. And I was like, what? I want to meet an armadillo in my backyard. And they're like they were talking about like it was nothing, which of course to them it probably was, because that's just like everyday stuff. That would be like, God, I don't know, like seeing a possum around here and going to an area where possums just don't exist. I see one too many possums. I actually don't see that many, but I see a couple. I'm trying to think of something like native to the area I live in that you really wouldn't see too much of anywhere else. I just can't think of anything. My area is pretty bland with its creatures. I mean, there's a lot of deer. Goodness. I live like in the far, like the most eastern part of the Midwest, and it's just kind of bland where I live at as far as like wildlife and stuff. I wish there was some cool stuff in the area. People keep telling me there's black bears. I'm like, I ain't no black bears around here. My goodness. At least I'm fairly certain there's not. I could be wrong, but I'm just like, yeah, whatever, man. I used to be obsessed when I was younger with finding, like, he needs a heal. I'll pull him up here. I used to be obsessed when I was younger with, like, tall tales and, like, myths and legends. Like, I was obsessed with the Loch Ness Monster for a small portion, like, very small portion of my childhood. I just thought the idea was fascinating. I somewhere deep down, I knew it wasn't real, but, like, deep down, like, it fascinated me. I was like, oh, that might exist. That's so cool. I'll actually have Chris get that. But, I remember back when my parents were together, back when I was first learning about myths and legends like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, stuff like that. I asked my mom once, I had to have been like, maybe 10, maybe a little bit younger than that, maybe 9 or 10, and I asked my mom once, I was like, Mom, is there a such thing as a Bigfoot? And like, without even thinking, she looked straight at me and goes, yeah, your dad. I was like, okay. It was just so, like, it wasn't even the fact that it was a funny but silly joke. It was like how serious she was, like how quickly she responded to that. Which, in all fairness, my dad and I have, like, ridiculously huge feet. Our feet are just, it's not even fair. I hate my feet. If I could just chop them off and get cool little cyborg legs, I totally would. Oh, goodness. Yeah, this map's a bit of a long wind. There's just a lot. There's just a lot of map in this map. There's a lot of map in this map. Sounds like Hank Hill from King of the Hill. I need to watch that show. My fiance keeps telling me I would love it, because I love that kind of humor. I used to binge watch Family Guy and American Dad, and I still do, like, when I have the channel, like, not the channels available, when I have the streaming available for it. But she always tells me I would love to watch that show. Like I would just personally, she thinks I would personally genuinely enjoy the humor, which I probably would. So, and the little bit like that I have seen of it, I have enjoyed. One day I'll get around to it. The more I think about it, guys, the more I really want a Shining Force or Phantasy Star anime. Like a Sega Genesis, even a Shining Force 2 anime. I don't like 2 as much as 1, but I would be okay with that. A Shining Force 1 anime would be grand, and pretty much an anime based off of any of the old Genesis Phantasy Stars would be welcomed by me. I just think it'd be cool. I just think there's a lot of potential there for a really, really cool anime. Actually, what I think I want more than anything, as far as games and new media goes, is I really want. I think the two things I want more than anything right now, when it concerns like old games being remade or like new takes on old games, I either want to see two things. I would like to see Shining Force and Phantasy Star get like the Sonic Mania treatment, where they would take like the classic concepts of like the old Shining Force 1 and 2 games and the old Phantasy Star 1 through 4 games and make like a whole brand new story, but with elements and graphics and music very similar to the old, the old games. Or I'd really like to see like Phantasy Star 1, really any of the old Phantasy Stars, 1, 2, or 4, 1, 2, 3, or 4 remade, kind of like they remade 7 when they made the 7 remake, without the crazy changes that the 7 remake ultimately had. There was long story short, and I'll talk more about this when I go back to my 7 Let's Play. But really, long story short, there were some things I really liked about the 7 remake, but also like I really liked the gameplay. I really liked the graphics. I really liked the characters, and I really like the combat. And not so much the gameplay itself, because I felt like the exploration was a bit lacking. But I feel like the combat, especially the boss battles, were like amazing. But I was really upset. They made some story changes that I wasn't a huge fan of. I won't really say what they are, because it's still relatively new. I don't really want to spoil anything for anybody. Man, Xylo needs to get out of there. Thank you. But, that's fine, I guess, because I don't think the other one could do that anyway, so... And Gorton May can handle that pretty easily, actually. But, ultimately, I wasn't a fan of the remake, but the biggest reason I wasn't a fan wasn't necessarily because that I thought, like, it was a terribly put together game. Most of it was, like, story and lore changes that I felt like were unnecessary, and that really kind of, like, took out some of the really important themes of the original. But there's other smaller factors. Like, I felt like there was less to do, there was less to explore, and less overall content than the original game. That's just my opinion, though. Some people really like it, and I'm happy for them. But if they were to, like, remake, like, an old Phantasy Star game with, like an action RPG hybrid system, and really take the time to develop it, like rebuild it from the ground up with brand new graphics, remix soundtracks, and a really like higher emphasis on like exploring the world and whatnot, I would really love to see Phantasy Star 1, really any of the old Phantasy Stars, but particularly 1 or 2, because I feel like those games would just be perfect for a remake. Because while they were great games during their eras, and they were super influential RPGs, I feel like 1 and 2 have definitely aged. Now, I feel like 1 has actually aged fairly well, because they re-released it as a Sega Ages classic on the Switch, and the only real thing they added to it was like where you can you fill out your own map in each dungeon you walk into, and even just that one small quality of life change made the whole difference in that game. So even there, I feel like that game is still fairly viable if you treat it like a classic game, which I do. But I think both games kind of show their age a little bit, like any game from the late 80s, early 90s, like really early 90s. Like Phantasy Star 1 was made in 1987, and Phantasy Star 2 was made in 1980, either 88 or 89. It was one of the two. Either way, they were both games from the late 80s. They're both RPGs from the late 80s, and while they were both super influential, ultimately, there's going to be a lot to be desired. Like, a lot to be desired. They definitely age. So seeing a game remake kind of similar to how they remade, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, or even Trials of Mana, although 7 Remake was a complete new take on the battle system, whereas Trials of Mana was more of just that same battle system, just highly revamped. But yeah, something like that. But I instead of making crazy story changes like they did in the 7 Remake, like keeping the story, I'm okay with expanding it, like making certain cutscenes more noticeable, giving quality of life changes, like explaining certain things in more detail, giving the party members from a game made in 1987 more personality, stuff like that. I'm perfectly okay with, because I think it just adds to the overall experience of the game. So I actually really would like to see a Phantasy Star 1 or 2, but really, even if they decided to make 3 or 4, which I feel like they wouldn't, just because Phantasy Star, you don't have to play them in order, but if you do, you get a lot more out of it. I feel like they would start with 1 and see how that goes and work their way around if Sega ever decided to sit down and do it. But they might also start with 2, because 2 is wildly considered an amazing game by most fans. Like wildly. 2 is considered like just a really good step in the right direction for most fans. I'm actually not going to use Chris to heal, just because she just hit level 10, and it would be kind of pointless to get extra experience when Lo could get it and just build himself out more. So I'm gonna wait for Lo to get down here. But yeah, if they were, I think they'd just remake them in order. Like I think they'd sit there and like from the ground up. I think they would sit down and just remake 1, and then if 1 was like a really successful, then they do 2. They might skip 3, go straight to 4, because 3 was kind of the black sheep of the Genesis Phantasy Star games. But I feel like they would go 1, 2, 3, and 4 just to see how it goes. But they might just jumpstart it with 2, pretty much because 2 was just considered that good. 2 was considered by most people as like a really good and influential game. So I think there's a lot to be done there. I don't know if they will or not. I feel like we're gonna see a small resurgence in like old RPG remakes with the success of 7 Remake and Trials of Mana. Again, I wasn't a huge fan of everything the 7 Remake did. I ultimately didn't like it as a whole, but there were certain things about it I really liked and could really enjoy in like some other games, like maybe a Phantasy Star Remake or a maybe like a different PS1 RPG remake, like maybe like a Breath of Fire remake or a like Wild Arms remake, something like that. So yeah, I actually would be really, really okay with that. I would be genuinely happy with a that of all the potential remakes I could see in the world of RPGs, all of Phantasy Star is what I want to see the most remakes. I grew up on that. That was like the first big RPG series I played. And Phantasy Star 2 was my first RPG. I talked about that in one of my previous Shining Force videos. So I have a lot of love in particular for that game. It has a super duper special place in my heart. It was my first ever like RPG, and then as a whole, the Phantasy Star games were like my first series of RPGs I played. I played like clearly like Wild Arms was an early RPG that I loved, but I didn't really play Wild Arms 2 or 3 till much later in life. Whereas Phantasy Star I played 2, and then I just branched around. I played 1, I played 4, I think I played 4 next, and then I think I played 1 and 3. I think. But yeah, just seeing those games remade, I think would be cool, and I think those would be the best games to do it. Because like PS1 RPGs, while a lot of people would love to see games like Legend of Dragoon remade and whatnot, those games are still considered like cult classics. Those games are still considered like really strong even by gameplay standards, even though they're a little bit dated for sure. People would still consider those great games, so the want to remake them might be a little bit lower. Whereas Phantasy Star, those are games that were made in mostly the 1980s. 3 was made in 1991, and 4 was made in 1995. So 4 is widely considered one of the best RPGs, like easily in like the top 100 of all time. But it's an old Sega Genesis game. So to see that remade, I think would be pretty cool. And with the success of the Sonic movie, kind of revitalizing interest in Sega as a whole, with the success of the 7 remake, where it was like highly received as a whole. Even again, I wasn't a big fan of all the story stuff, but that's neither here nor there. As a whole, the project was successful. So you've got to imagine there's interest in other communities, like maybe Capcom for their Breath of Fire series, maybe Square and some of its other IPs. And you would have to imagine that Sega would be interested as well in looking back at some of their old RPGs and saying, hey, 7 Remake did stupid well, despite its controversial changes. And a game like Trials of Mana did really well too. So you'd have to think that Sega might, and especially with the Sonic movie, I feel like after a couple years, that movie's really going to help them out a lot, because it shows that they care enough about their product. Because with the whole debacle with Sonic's original design looking as weird as it did, you would have to imagine that going back and changing it just showed to the fans how important this was to them. And with as much success as it has had, like that's the best-selling video game movie ever, at least I'm pretty sure it is. You would have to imagine that would revitalize interest in Sega. To kind of look back at some of their popular IPs and say, hey, people still like our stuff. Like clearly Sonic and Phantasy Star are on 2 entirely different levels. While I think Phantasy Star was just as influential as I personally think the old Phantasy Star games were just as influential as the old Final Fantasy games for RPGs as a whole. But Sonic and Phantasy Star, as far as brands go, are in 2 entirely different places. And always have been. So I'm not even saying that, like, because Sonic is getting highly respected, that means that Phantasy Star will or should. I'm simply just saying that it's possible, considering how influential those games were and how well beloved by their fan bases they were. And then how successful the Sonic movie was. It shows that people are still heavily interested in Sonic, particularly Sonic that reminds them of the classic Sonic. And with that Sega logo at the very beginning of the Sonic movie showing as many Sega Genesis games, well, really even like Saturn and Dreamcast games too, but it showed a plethora of Sega games. I noticed a lot of Genesis games in that logo. I did go back and rewatch the logo. You can find Shining Force in it, and you can find all 4 Phantasy Stars. I looked. I was determined. But yeah. So there's definitely a strong possibility with, as well as the 7 remake did, with the Sonic movie kind of reigniting passion and not just passion but hope as well in the Sonic community, that Sega can kind of come back and do something pretty awesome. So I think there's a lot to be done, and I really think that like a Phantasy Star remake, I'm not expecting it, but I think like a Phantasy Star 1 or Phantasy Star 2 remake has a huge potential. I'm not expecting it, but I think it's very possible. hits by 4, speed by 2. That wasn't too bad. I almost lost Guns. Michaela is said to possess the Sword of Light. You must enter her castle and claim it. With that legendary weapon, you stand a much better chance against Dark Soul. Alright. Well, here's the little hero coming for my Sword of Light. Take it if you dare. You'll never leave my castle, you pitiful fools. This is as close as you'll ever come to the Sword of Light. Take great care. Shayla is a powerful wizardess, a dangerous foe. Okay, guys. So just like... So, I'm not... I'm gonna stop the stream here, purely because, you know, it's a brand new map. We just did one, so I'm one battle per map. But this is one of my favorite... I'll kind of go into more detail, but this is one of my favorite maps in the game, and one of my favorite battles. I just find it incredibly fun, and a really interesting battle. Yeah, so, I'll go into it in more detail next time, but this is Michaela. We will fight her. She is nothing short of annoying. She's a very fun battle, but for Ironman intents and purposes, she will be very, very difficult. So, I'm just gonna kind of, like, have everybody chill out at the bottom until my main guy comes up. There we go, and I can just cast Egress. I'm gonna restock real quick, and then I will cut the stream short. But yeah, so yeah, like, as far as, like, everyone's talking now, like, what other popular RPG remakes could we potentially see? Games like Legend of Dragoons out there, I've heard that a couple times. People saying that would be a good... Which it would be an interesting game. I don't know how they'd go about remaking that, though, because... Well, it's definitely a game to be remade. That has a lot of potential. The problem with Legend of Dragoon is... it was highly... Part of the reason why it's so beloved is its unique battle system. It's got probably the most unique battle system of any PS1 RPG I've ever played. Really anything from 2000 and below. It's just so... The addition system in Legend of Dragoon is just so crazy good. So that game would be hard to remake. But anyways, that's one of the games that's talked about. I've heard Wild Arms once or twice. I've heard Wild Arms once or twice, which I would love, like, a Wild Arms 1 remake, but I'm not holding my breath on it. Phantasy Star is a name I actually haven't heard much of. But I think it has a lot of potential, with Sega seeming to take heavy interest in a lot of their older IPs. Again, with the remake doing as well as it did. And the Sonic movie garnering a lot of praise, not just for being a good movie, but for, like, really properly, like, adhering to people's classical idea. Classical idea of classical Sonic. Why did I say classical? Classical's like something you use for music. Everyone's idea of classic Sonic, it kind of, like, really, not just, like, plays into that, but really does it justice. So, So yeah, again, it's something I think has potential. I'm not holding my breath on that. I'm not going to be like, guys, here in 2 years, we're going to hear about a remake for the original Phantasy Star or Phantasy Star 2. But I think it's something that has potential and something that Sega would consider, given the success of their Sonic movie, that shows interest in older Sega ideas and classic Sega ideas, as well as the success of the 7 remake. So, but I'm not holding my breath on it. Anyway, all that rumbling and ranting aside, we are now at the Demon Castle, and we're about to fight Michaela. We're going to try to take the Sword of Light from her, which is a very sacred weapon that we can use to better our chances against Runefaust and Dark Soul. So, the next battle is one of my favorites. It's a story battle against Michaela, who is one of Runefaust's most... She's similar to Kane, but instead of being just like a brute, she's a sorceress, which automatically makes my heart go doki doki. But nonetheless, she's a very important general. She's fairly important to the story. We've had run-ins with her. We've had as many run-ins with her as we've had with Kane. So, it's just really neat to think about to me. Like, I just like the idea that, like, these generals and people that we've met early on that gave us a rivalry, reason to be frustrated with them. They're back, and now we're actually getting into it with them. So the last chapter was more of a get to chapter. The next chapter is gonna be it's gonna be fun. The next battle is gonna be really fun. It's gonna be hard. She's got a very powerful spell, and it can be very dangerous if you're not careful. So we may have to take her out quick. But ultimately, it's gonna be fun. I'm really excited for it. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this adventure through Shining Force. Next battle is a little bit more difficult, so I'll be talking a little bit more about and it doesn't drag on. Some of those world map battles drag on because you have very limited terrain. So that's why I kind of start rambling about other things that are on my mind at the time. But the next chapter is not like that. It's very close quarters. Everything's really tight, and everything's really rough and tumble. So it's going to be fun, and I won't be rambling as much about random things that really I should just be dedicating videos to, as opposed to just talking about them in my stream. But thank you guys so much for joining me. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Please share it with people who would love to enjoy it as well. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'm genuinely looking forward to the next Let's Play. I will see you guys in the next video, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you, and goodbye!